mix here. Now, when I make these, I realized last night it needed a little something extra. So I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder.
Did Sherry
And,
might have requested. I think she says she requested.
oh, she wants to come in? All right, even better.
Yay!
Grab
It's
her.
a party!
Yeah.
I mean,
Hi.
And
because what good is a live if you don't have two women interrupting?
that's what I say too. I am okay with that. So we're starting with these muffins. Now, this muffin mix actually came from an old cookbook. And, you have to think, it's a New England cookbook. It came from Maine. So the original version of this wasn't super robust. So now I've added a little extra garlic powder and some everything but seasoning because I just wanted a little more. But it's good as it is.
Okay.
So then in that, just going to use the same bowl over here. I am going to go and I'm going to put, let's see, where did I put it? I got to tie my apron up because it was loose.
I was gonna say, that apron. Everybody loves that apron, starting with me.
His apron
Andrea's
is.
here. Andrea loves the apron as well.
Oh, hey there. All right. So now in this, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of milk.
Okay.
Now I did take the milk out of the refrigerator a little bit earlier because I wanted it to be not ice cold.
Okay.
3/4 of a cup of milk. And some oil. Nice standard recipe, nothing fancy. Now,
Okay.
I will say you could very easily, and they come out really, really good if you did a combined bacon fat and corn oil. Works really well because you get that little extra bacony flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Will work super, super well. And then my egg. I always crack my egg in the separate cup in case I put a little something in there that I didn't want.
Or you get a bad
nobody
egg.
wants to crunch on the shell.
Or get a bad egg.
Seems like I'm always the one that gets the shell.
Yeah, I have been the one to do that. It's funny. It's just like with a bad egg. Yeah, that's even worse. Or even if it's not a bad egg, it's just maybe visually it's uncomfortable. Some people just don't like the way it looks. So it's uncomfortable to have a little bit of something in there. All right.
That doesn't.
The other.
Andrea loves your sign.
Oh, thank you. I did put a little bit of salt in there as well, and that's it. Okay. So this is about as close to a dump recipe as you can get, I think. Now, the big secret with this is don't overmix it. As soon as you put your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients, just to make them incorporated. I don't want to make this super, super, that's why I'm actually doing it by hand. This is a great kid-friendly dish. It's a great dish for people who have low mobility. If you like me, sometimes my hands bother me. I don't need to use a mixer. It comes together literally that quickly.
Okay.
All right. Some things you can overmix, like that and brownies.
Yes.
Hi, everybody coming in.
I don't want to overmix this at all. Now, in here, I am going to add green onions. Nice and simple. I chopped them up a little bit ago. And just for a little extra flavor, I'm going to put some scallions. Remember, with scallions,
extra is good.
Chop them. Use the scissors that you have. I am using my scissors. It is a bacon.
What's he making?
It's a bacon walnut cheese muffin. Now, a lot of times you'll see this recipe as a scone, but I didn't want to make scones. Scones can be a little fiddly for me to want to do unless it's the entire recipe. So I'm just making this as a muffin because I want the softness to nibble on. And I've put 2 types of onion. I have my scallions. I have green onions. I'm putting in some walnuts that are chopped. And, of course, shredded cheese. Now, I'm using cheddar cheese. I think this would be really good with Jack. If you like more of an impact flavor, Jack cheese would be perfectly aligned for this. And all I'm going to do now is very carefully fold it in. I don't want to whip this. This is not the time I want to show how strong it is. All I want to do is incorporate all of the ingredients so that I don't see any more flour and every extra ingredient is covered with the batter. And I think when I did this, I made a batch. Last time I made a batch, it took about 7 folds, seven of these folding in.
Oh,
And the reason
that sounds like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a lolly that like a Tootsie Pop?
Well, you know why I do.
Does it take 7 folds.
Well, do you know why I actually count? Because I am one of those people who will overmix. I am, so I actually
I can
in
tell
my
you
own.
right now, I overmixed mine.
Yeah, this is a pretty forgiving recipe. If you get a little overmixing, it's not unforgivable. All right, that's ready.
Okay.
I am gonna put these out.
Beautiful.
Literally, I am scooping them out, and they're going in the oven.
Okay.
You want these at about 2/3 of a cup. And I'll be honest, it says 2/3 of a cup. This recipe is almost spot on for a dozen. They don't rise a huge amount, so I go through with my portioner. First, I do enough of everything that's pretty similar, and then I top it all off. I don't need to. Now you can use just use your spray grease if you want to not use the liners. I use the silicone cup liners because I actually think they pop right out. Super easy that way. That's interesting. I don't like that there. They pop really out. They're nice.
Hey, Frank, you have over 300 people watching right now. So let me just say, welcome everyone. You're watching Food Talk TV. We are a group of creators, and somebody who goes live every single day. Right now, we've got Frank Mentor SF, and he's cooking for us. You can find this recipe on our website at foodtalktv.com. And if you're not following us, please give us a follow.
All right. So what I did was, now I'm just going back and I'm sort of, this is the, I'm eyeballing it to use up the rest. These are not going to be like beautiful, big, puffy. They're just going to be a nice bite. They actually would work. I will say that these worked, the little mini muffins, they work beautifully. Because they're a really nice bite. Now, I did notice I forgot something. And that happens when you're doing this live. But how many of you have ever, oh my God. Remember my mother one summer was making a cake and she forgot to add the sugar. And in a rush, she added salt. And we were just hysterical when we went to eat it. Things like that happen. You can't let it throw you. So what did I do? I did forget an ingredient.
What'd you forget? What was that?
Bacon. So what I'm going to do,
Frank.
I am just putting the bacon in manually. Don't bother me.
I mean, it's bacon. You can't go wrong doing that. Stuff it down.
No, not at all. I'm just going to shove it on top. It's going to be like a crouton. I got bacon crouton crumbles.
Yeah.
But normally, and I actually.
Who wouldn't love a bacon crouton?
Well, exactly. And it's very funny because I don't usually cook. Matter of fact, I'm going to be cooking my other bacon, the pre-cooked bacon that I like. But I had real bacon left over, so I actually cooked it last night because I wanted some more bacon grease actually too. So, all right, because I need it. I was almost out. All right, so now I added my bacon retroactively. It'll be fine.
Okay.
These will go into a 400-degree oven, and they'll cook for about 25 minutes. Why don't you tell them about Food Talk and Grub Match while I throw these in the oven, and I'll be back to start our next dish.
Okay. All right. Sherry, you want to go?
Well, that lady down there is Sketchy Chef, and she is the hostess of Grub Match. She is currently undefeated, And next Monday night, she will be battling Chef Tim Clowers. Well, let's competing with Chef Tim Clowers using the secret ingredient, ranch dressing. I am the timekeeper, and I will come in and moderate and give them their time and what have you. But and Chef Bradley says she's a troublemaker, but she's a very good cook. And so is Chef Tim Clowers. So that's going to be very fun to watch. I hope you'll come. Hit the follow button up in the upper left, follow Food Talk. Get notifications and you'll know when we go live and when Grub Match is. 8 p.m. Central, Monday night.
All right.
And we're looking for competitors as well.
Yeah.
Yes, always. And it's always a lot of fun. I will tell you that it is a little, can be a little stressful watching. You know, I won't say it can be a little stressful watching, but it's exciting stress. It's, you know, it's like, oh my God, are they going to make it? But it's worth it. All right. So what I'm doing first, I'm going to make bacon. I need some grease in here.
Okay.
I am going to be making this broccolini dish. So broccolini is a type of, it's a part of the broccoli family. It's smaller. It's got
That's
a little.
That's definitely one of my favorites.
And depending on the season, now these are even woodier than I like them to be, meaning they have a bigger stalk. But they're good either way. So what I would do with these, because I think that they're a little bit too big, I'm just going to give them a little slice right down the middle. Cut the ends off because I don't want that. But, you know, all these ends that you cut off, don't be throwing them away. Don't be composting them. Throw them in one of your silicone bags and save them because they will be great for using in stocks or, you know, whenever you need. Just keep it in the freezer. All right, so this I'm just going to quickly prep. Take those pieces off. This recipe is really great to have because you can have it ready in about 20 minutes. You can do this in the oven traditionally. What really is the best part of this recipe, I'll be honest, my favorite part of this recipe is, I'll be honest, it's not the broccoli. It's the it is the sauce that goes on the broccoli. All right, I am just throwing these in probably about 250 because this runs hot. If you were doing this in the oven, you would do this at about 400 degrees.
Okay.
All right, that's done. Literally, that's cooking. It's done its job. I will come back to that. We're going to go over this bucket and start this one next. I'm going to do multiple things at once today.
Okay.
Once I get these on,
kitchen right now.
It feels like a Grub Match kitchen. Grub Match with myself.
Right.
All right.
Multiple stations.
Right. So this is going to be doing its thing. You can add olive oil instead. And it'll probably take about 10 minutes. You would do, 15 to 20 if you were doing it in the oven, and I'll rotate them.
Okay.
While that's doing its thing, I'm going to actually start the base for the mussels because they all come together pretty quickly.
I like mussels.
Okay.
All right. Now let's do this without burning anything. Got my pan over there. So for the mussels, first thing when we're dealing with mussels is you have to remember when you get mussels, you want to keep them cold. You want to give them a scrub to take off any of the little, most of the commercially grown mussels are pretty clean nowadays. But occasionally you'll get this thing called a beard. And all that is you just pull it right off. All right. Now, if you're looking at your mussels, you have to remember if they're open now and they don't close, they're no good. When you cook them, if they're not open, they're no good. So you have to think differently. So this one I know wasn't open. This one is open. So those aren't getting cooked. So these are prepped and ready to go. Now what I want to do is get my I'm going to get my pot ready. So in this pan,
Bradley
we are.
said those cowboys on your apron have muscles.
They do. Way more muscles than I do. All right.
They have more muscles than your muscles.
It's kind of sad but true. All right, so I got one of my bacons here. Now this is pre-cooked bacon. I like it because it starts off. I don't have to let it cook as long, and it doesn't take up my time because I don't always use bacon. So this is going to be a nice starting point.
Right.
I've never used pre-cooked bacon.
You know what I love having it for? I love it because it gives me a chance to. I don't have to use it up by a date per se.
Right.
So, and that's where I'm always afraid of it going bad. All right. So inside that, I now have my bacon grease is melting. This is what's going to have our mussels. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And get that hot.
So did you say that's your shelf-stable bacon, right? Like it doesn't even need to
That's
be
my shelf-stable bacon. Nope. It just there are some that they're selling
like bacon
that
bits, right? But a little better.
Well, it's a whole bacon strip. But there are some that actually are you do have to refrigerate it. They're still cryovac, but you still have to refrigerate.
Okay.
Look at how brown these are getting in no time at all.
Yeah, they look beautiful. Beautiful.
Nice and vibrant green, and I get a little bit of my crust. All right, let that do its thing. Perfect. Go back over here. This is getting nice and hot. So the other night I had potatoes that I already pre-cooked because I was doing something else with them. I chopped them up into pretty quarter inch maybe, and there also happens to be some bacon on those too. So I'm getting bacon a couple different ways. Bacon grease.
Hi, Ashton.
Bacon chopped up. And I'm gonna just let that do its thing. Perfect.
Yes, he is making broccolini.
I am making broccolini. I've got some chopped up onions that are going in. And this is essentially the base for my mussels to cook in.
Okay. Oh, that's going to be good. I have never cooked mussels ever.
I like mussels, and today was just like that.
I've eaten
perfect.
them, but not cooked them.
They're really easy to cook. They don't take long, and that's why I like this recipe. Clams are the same way.
Okay.
All right, so I've got in here, I've got my bacon. If you had ground sausage, you could throw ground sausage in here. I've got potatoes, some bacon fat, some olive oil, and onions. And it'll take about 5 minutes to do its thing. Then I'm going to add some white wine. I've got this cooking over here. Hey, everybody. So let's go back now and make our dressing. Go backwards, and we're going to do our dressing for the broccolini. So the dressing for the broccolini is a peanut-based dressing. All right? Ooh. So while this is cooking, you would go ahead and make this. Now, in my bowl, I'm going to find my whisk over here. What I have is peanut butter. About 3 tablespoons of regular old peanut butter. You could use tahini.
I'm going to like this sauce.
Oh, yeah, I have to say. It's one that I really do enjoy. You could use tahini. Would work really well as well. Okay. You're also going to add into the sauce soy sauce. Look at my measurements since I do this. It's about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, maybe 3, depending on your taste.
Ivy3666 says, I just bought 2 packs of mussels on sale. I was going to steam them with beer, but maybe I'll try this.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to tell you what, Frank's got good recipes.
You could add fresh thyme. If you had fresh thyme, you could have put fresh thyme. I'm using herbs de Provence, which has thyme in it, because I don't use thyme all that often unless it's growing outside. So going back to the dish here with the
Okay.
broccoli sauce, I'm gonna add 1, 2, 3. My favorite ingredient, sesame oil. About a tablespoon of sesame oil will go
Ooh.
into that. Um, some crushed red pepper. Got a little bit of spice. And let's see, did I get everything? I got,
Spicy.
I think we got everything in it. And then a little bit of crushed
I was about to say, don't
peanuts.
forget the bacon.
I got the bacon in
Don't
it.
forget the
Well, no,
bacon,
the
Frank.
bacon's over here, and bacon is over here. The broccolini doesn't have bacon itself on it. No, gotta be good sometimes. All I'm doing now is I'm getting all this wonderful darkness on the bottom of the pan. That's gonna help make the broth to cook the mussels in.
Ooh, beautiful. Okay.
All right, so I've got my dressing here. I'm just gonna try and mix it up. It takes a few minutes. It's the one thing about making anything with peanuts or the peanut sauce with has peanut butter. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a few minutes to incorporate the liquids. All right, just turning that down. I don't want to overcook the broccolini. I don't want it to be so absolute soft. I want it to have crunch. I want to have a little bit of bite. Now I got to
There we
taste it.
go.
I got to see if I need anything. I think it needs. I taste soy. I think it
Cherry,
needs a
he
little.
needs a whisk like you have.
I have them. I have several, but you know what?
Me
I
too.
like the smaller ones because when I do
When they go
small
like
work
this,
like
yeah.
this, when I do the big whisks, the balloon whisks in small spaces, I get it everywhere.
Yep.
I like to be a little bit closer to the food this way. All
Yeah.
right.
Hey, Frank, somebody would like if you could recap the ingredients in your peanut sauce.
Sure. Soy sauce. It's got soy sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of salt, or a little bit of pepper, peanut butter, crushed peanuts, honey, and that's the sauce.
There
And
you
then it's
go.
just about personal taste. You get it to the texture and the consistency that you like. I have made it with a bunch of different things. All right, so this is going really nicely. Now I'm going to put my white wine into those potatoes.
Ooh. Okay.
Mm.
I have some chopped up parsley. I'm just going to add a little bit of those in there now just because I want that to cook down and simmer.
Chopped up what?
Parsley.
Parsley. Okay.
All right, this is looking good. Just going to add a little bit of water because I don't want to add any more salt products, liquid products to it, but I want to thin it out. You could do that if I wanted to use a different agency, but just want to thin it out just a bit. Oh, there's better. All right, so our peanut sauce looks good. I'll do a double check. I've got this. So I've got peanut butter, soy sauce, honey, sesame oil, crushed pepper, and peanuts are in the sauce. I'm going to add just a hint of olive oil to it because I want to have a little bit looser. You could also add, which would be very, very good, a little bit of orange juice to this could just pop it right up. Oh, that's better. All right.
I was going to say I've made a sauce like that, and I've added some lime juice as well. So just depends on the flavor you're looking for.
Well, as a matter of fact, guess what we were going to do? I just put the limes.
Okay.
I put the limes on at the end, and I'm using the zest. So the zest will come in, so it's going to be in the sauce and then on top when you serve it.
There you go. See that? Okay.
All right, so This is now done. It's going to sit here and mellow out. I'm going to check the broccolini one more time and wet my hands. Get my tongs because, you know, I got company here. I don't want you to think I'm an animal. Oh, these look so good. All right. They're nice and brown, but they're not so soft. Okay, I did one last check of my mussels, make sure all the beards are off. I'm looking for any that didn't close. They're going to get, yes, it is called the beard.
I know, that's funny. And when you yanked it off, I grabbed my chin.
That's exactly what it's like. And, you know, I find that when it comes to mussels, I rinsed them, I gave them a scrub. And even though I did that, I still missed a couple. So, you know, just sit there, you get your knife handy because that's quicker. Sherry will tell you sometimes just using a knife is so much faster than all the gimmicks. And I'm just going to throw these in. And, you know, a mussel should smell fresh. It literally should smell like you're at the beach. If it doesn't smell like a beach, you're probably not going to want to eat them. I'm just going to lower that a little bit. Hey, Edible, how are you?
Yeah, he's here to see you. Awesome.
All right, I'm just giving these a quick rundown, make sure I didn't miss any of those little beards that sort of creep up. You know, these are commercially farmed mussels, so they're much cleaner, much easier to deal with. They have a lot less stuff on them. Sometimes you just got to scrape the shell if you see a barnacle that's bothering you. Barnacle, those things that are
Edible says, "Hey, Mr. Frank."
Hey there, thanks for dropping in. So, recap, what do we got cooking? I have in the oven, I have bacon, green onion, and walnut muffins. I have cooking right here. I'm getting ready to dump these mussels in, which do not take that long to cook. And in the mussels, I actually have potatoes and bacon, oil, and white wine. You could, if you're not a wine drinker, so you don't like the flavor of wine, you totally can use chicken stock would be totally fine. Fish stock would be fine. Even water would be fine because, you know, you're going to get the fish flavor from the mussels themselves. All right, so I went through that list, made sure that there were no mussels that I do not want anybody to eat. And remember, when they go in, you want to make sure the mussel is closed. When it's time to take them out, you want to make sure the mussels are open. All right, I'm just going to do that, close this, let it do its thing for a few more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I want you to tell muffins if you get a chance.
All right, so the muffins. Oh, I love these muffins. So these muffins are a simple batter. I've made them a couple different ways. They are it has bacon, walnuts, green onions, and cheese. They have a similar flavor, so to speak, of the scone that we oftentimes get. But I didn't want to make scones. I wanted something. Today's a really dreary day. I wanted something that was a little more feel good. I thought, I want muffins. I want muffins that I can nibble throughout the day. I want something that had a little flavor to it. But when you add that salty butter, it's going to be great. And I also wanted something that I don't know. It was just one of those tastes that I was in the mood to have today. So this recipe came from a cookbook that is a New England, Maine cookbook recipe. I've done several recipes from it. Now, you could have added garlic to this if you wanted minced garlic to it. I just didn't put the minced garlic in today. But it totally would have been great with the garlic in without a problem at all.
Well, I'm kind of a garlic fanatic and snob, so, you know, in case you haven't heard.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I am going to add a little bit of roasted red pepper in two places because I want to make sure that I'm going to tie this recipe together. So I'm going to use a little bit of roasted red peppers, you know, the kind you get in the jar because they're convenient. And now I'm going to also put some in here.
Convenient.
Yeah, convenience when it comes to roasted red peppers. I'm totally fine with that. All right. This done. And then where is my sauce? Over here. Give it one good. Oh my God, this looks good. Get my spoon.
Ooh.
And I'm just gonna lay. I don't want.
Me too.
You know,
Ivy says she's crazy about that wood bowl.
oh, I do. I'm so happy. I have another one I'm working, trying to fix. So now, if you wanted, if this was a little bit looser, you could glaze this on. I kind of like it thicker because I want to be able to taste it. So I'm just putting it in clumps. And then what I would do
Okay.
is I do a glop on each end so I can dip. Because remember, this is my actual lunch. So I'm allowed to dip. Or we're allowed to dip. All right. Why don't you give them a recap of Food Talk TV? I want to go check those muffins. And I will be right back.
And Trisha, take it away.
All right. So we are a group of creators. There's about, 10 of us that go live every single day to cook. We are Food Talk TV. You can find every single recipe, including what you see today, on foodtalktv.com. You can watch the replay of this on Facebook and YouTube. What else, Sherry? So give us a follow if you're not following us already. We like I said, we've got people cooking every single day. Lots of different, really great recipes. For anything you need at all, foodtalktv.com. There we go.
Yeah,
and follow us if you're not.
I'm not a website kind of person, but I love our website. And for all the people who keep asking me about the honey and garlic, Kaz made me a .com, a honey one, like grubmatch.tv, that I can just paste in people's comments so they can go to it. I'm so excited. Yeah. Oh, and Frank, he wants you to turn on the comments for the garlic and honey because I'm getting so many questions.
Okay, I didn't know the comments were turned off. I will go look at that one. All right, let me just check the last thing. All right, we are plugging away.
Chris says our website is simple and easy to navigate, and it really is. Whoops.
All right. So I'm going to give you guys a little peek here.
I was going to say, that looks good.
It is smelling. There's something about seafood and white wine that just works. Doing the navigation.
I thought you were going to say, and a cold, dreary day.
Well, it is a very cold, dreary day today, actually. All right.
That looks like the perfect meal for that.
So really, all I'm looking for now is this takes about, as my glasses steam up, the final cook time when you put the mussels in are only 4 to 5 minutes. It's just to get them open.
Okay.
So we are there.
Oh my gosh, that looks beautiful.
There. Put that there because it's already got that on it. So, I guess you want to see the muffins, huh, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, Frank.
Would you like to see the muffins?
I have my muffin. Look what I made. I made them too. Look.
These muffins. Look how easy. Look how easy they come out with the silicone.
Perfect.
It is one of the reasons
why. And I can
now,
tell you that are watching, every single thing he said about his recipe is exactly what I came out with. The way he said they bake up, everything that he said is exactly right. Here's the replica, the duplicate.
All right. So we'll turn that off. Let's try one of them. Since you made a version,
Ready?
Let's try it and see.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Ooh, look at that. It's full of, look at that.
They were 22 to 25 minutes. and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, the walnuts, the onion. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Delicious, delicious. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good then.
It's
This is
it.
a definite must try.
They play well together without overpowering. Now, you could, if you use jack cheese or you use jalapeno in it, yes, it's going to get a little bit more robust. But you just get the warm walnuts, you get the onion, you get a little bit of the cheese, and it just plays well.
Good job, Frank.
I love the fact
Thank
that
you
you
for the
made them.
recipe.
You made it along with us. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All
Plus,
right.
it
So,
was super simple, super easy, just as easy as you saw him make. I was done in, I think mine took 20 minutes to bake. Mm-hmm.
all right. Let me finish this piece, and then we'll talk about
Mm.
the vegetable.
Sherry, I'll send you one.
Please.
So I've got my broccolini with peanut sauce. I'm just drizzling on my lime juice.
Oh, beautiful.
And then how I would
Beautiful.
serve this and how I did serve this, we had this actually this year for Thanksgiving. I just served it with a bunch of lime wedges on the side.
We had this actually this year for Thanksgiving. A bunch of lime wedges on the side.
Wow. I don't know where that came from.
I
Can you
think
still hear me?
I can. Yeah, Trisha dropped out. She must have had a phone call.
All right.
Something.
There you go, folks. This is our broccolini.
That's so
Let me see
pretty,
if I can.
Frank.
It really is, isn't it? And it, broccolini doesn't have that overpowering cooked broccoli smell, but it still has a bit of this flavor that I do like, and it's bitter. It's got a bitterness that I like in a good way. Now let's talk about my mussels. Now there are a couple ways you could serve the mussels. I'm going to serve it this way.
Okay. Hey, Frank, can I say something? My love
Yes, you
for
can.
Miko, you asked about where we could get the recipe, and right up above your comment, I just said to you, foodtalktv.com, and it's spelled just like in the upper left corner. If you'll go there.com, you will find any recipe that we've ever cooked, probably is on there. A bunch.
All right. Okay, ready? This is how I'm going to serve these today.
Get you won't see in.
All right, let me let me just spoon this up and then I will let her in.
Oh, in a bread bowl. You're too much. I'm not joking. I know Sketchy's waiting in the wings going, oh, Ma. I know that wouldn't play, right?
I love bread bowls and I like my carbs. Now remember, somebody said they've never had a mussel before in the shell.
I needed back in for this.
All right.
Oh, that's what I told
So
him.
A
somebody
bread
said,
bowl.
now, why not? This is how you
I
make this
love
a
it.
dinner. With a little salad, a little green salad, this is your dinner. Then you go back in here and you make sure though you get this broth. Do not skimp on the broth.
I bet that's so delicious.
All right. So this is how I would serve this one way.
Hi, Exploring Saltwater.
But let me show you a different way you can
that
serve
looks
it.
beautiful, Frank.
So there's another way you could serve that would be totally acceptable.
Yes.
You don't want to get fancy, that's fine. All you do is
Exploring Saltwater is my son.
It's just as easy to do some bread, and I like an herbed
Beautiful.
loaf. And I think I'm going to do it in this bowl because I think it's a better.
That all looks so gorgeous as always, Frank.
And it's just you've got your bacon, your potatoes, you've got all your mussels. And of course,
that's beautiful.
You're going to take your You're gonna make sure you get some of that lovely dripping sauce, because that is half of the fun of this dish, is being able to take your bread. My grandfather, that was his favorite part of the Sunday meal, was taking his bread and dragging it through, whether it be beef sauce or the drippings or tomato sauce. So this would be your alternative way
Okay.
to serve this. Here, let's make
Look
it
at
pretty.
that. So beautiful.
Make it pretty. I know if Kaz is watching, you got to make the plate pretty. You know, Ashton does such a beautiful job of plating. I want to make sure I am up to the company I keep. So this is a simple way, a simple bowl. Now, when you serve this, you would, include your toasts or your bread points, because you want to be able to dip, and you're good to go. There are some people who've never had a mussel. Let me show you how the easiest way to eat these. And this is an acceptable way to eat them in a restaurant. When you pick up the first one, you use your utensil to take the mussel out, all right? And you eat it like that. Then you use that mussel that's now empty as your picker to take the mussels
that
out.
I didn't know.
And that's how you would take the others out.
Frank,
Oh.
Frank. Before
Yes.
you eat all the mussels, just stop and make a 10-second cooking school, okay? No, seriously.
So I have 3 today. I have 3 today. Using the scissors for the green onions, saving your scraps, and now the cooking one. I can do that. I will do that.
For the picture. The shell for the picture.
My husband struggles. He eats them. I've never tasted them simply because of how they look. I have all kinds of opportunities, but I won't do it. Should I?
Oh, wait, I'm gonna try my muffin in the sauce, in the dripping.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
That's really good too. So let me show you what it looks like in the pan so you have an idea.
Castanets.
Beautiful.
And this was about a pound or so of mussels. It's one bag they usually give you. So we did it. We did it in less than an hour, but let's talk about it. I guess I should I don't want to mess up my picture. Oh well, I will. So there is our broccolini. Broccolini is a variation that has a very similar look. It's got a spicy peanut sauce. I could also have just given this a quick drizzle of more sesame oil, or I did forget something. You know what? Sketchy, you forgot to remind me.
What? Ooh.
Gotta put a little sriracha.
I didn't know about that.
Gotta put a little sriracha on this one.
Okay.
That's it. Now it's done.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful.
And we had our bacon walnut cheese muffins. Now you can make these with a packaged mix. They work really well with gluten-free. You can omit the sugar if you choose to. It's not a very sweet, overtly taste. And then, of course, you have your mussels. Serve it like this with an empty bowl for the shells. You can serve it alongside a salad is fine. Or if you want to be over the top like me, put it in a bread bowl and then just keep dipping in, some
Over
more.
the top. Over the top is good.
Hey, I like bread bowls because it also means I don't have to clean up one extra dish.
Exactly.
Well, hey.
And this is, I don't know if y'all can see, but it's raining out. We've got storm warnings coming today.
Still getting rain.
Yeah, it started again. We had a couple days of. Now, I did want to show you something, because oftentimes you see me make things fresh, but I wanted to show you this. I just baked. I test ran the recipe last night. Exact same thing. They came out identical. That's what we want to do. Is I want a recipe that's going to come out almost the same way, and they look very similar to Trisha's.
Mine looks like yours.
Yeah. So I made these last night. I let them cool. I put them in. Yes, one of my favorite Lock and Locks. And yes, I do have this one in all the seasons. I have watermelons for the summer. And, but, I did that version. I love Lock and Lock. I have been using Lock and Lock since I went to college. They are the best to-go without spilling things. Because back when I was back as a student, I was always traveling, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to spill my food. And that's everything. There is your meal for the day.
And I love it.
Beautiful.
So, folks, let's remember all there's the first recipe is up for the muffins is live now on Food Talk TV. It went live about a half hour ago. I will get the recipes up. The broccolini is actually not my original recipe. It's an adaptation from Molly Yeh from Food Network. The mussels recipe comes from the same recipe as the muffin book, which is the New England cookbook. It's a New England cookbook.
Oh, wow.
You're going to be seeing a bunch of recipes. Both Sherry and I are enjoying some of the vintage cookbooks, and we're having a lot of fun when we're looking at recipes that are very similar but different. All this took less than an hour to make. You could serve this as a dinner if you were just getting home from work, just as easily if you planned for it. A lot of the stuff you have in your cabinet, except for maybe the mussels, you could do this with clams, would work the same way. So follow us on all our social media, Trisha, and I'm so glad you both were able to get in here. Sherry, I know you were not originally on. Chris and Andrea and Ashton and all the other Food Talk TV folks, and all of those that you're beginning to log in with me each week. I look forward to it, and I hope you try these recipes and tell me what you think.
I'm going to.
I am very excited, and I
got
can't
the
wait.
book.
You do got one of the books. All right,
Yay.
everybody. And keep in mind, we've got Grub Match every Monday night. All of our creators go live every single day. And we have our latest. If you're not following our hashtag 10-second cooking school, follow the hashtag. It's a lot of fun. There's super quick tips that many of us take for granted that we're sharing. And with that, have a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Too, Frank. Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, Frank. Thanks for having us.